The average 40-year-old in America has a net worth of over $548,000. If you just felt a pit in your stomach because you aren't even close to that, stop. That number is a mathematical lie designed to make you feel behind. The reality is that the median 40-year-old, the person right in the middle, has closer to $135,300. But even more shocking, over half of American households have exactly $0 dedicated to retirement. Today, we're stripping away the average myths, ignoring the Instagram flexes, and building a realistic, brutal, effective battle plan for your 40s. Because the game isn't over. It's just halftime. Let's talk about the 40-year-old wake-up call. There is a very specific panic that sets in when you hit the big 4-0. It's not about the gray hairs or the fact that your back hurts for no reason. It's financial. You have entered what economists call your peak earning years. But if you are like most Americans, you aren't feeling peak anything. You are feeling the peak squeeze. You are stuck in the sandwich generation, pressed between the insane cost of raising kids, paying off a mortgage that feels like it will never end, and potentially taking care of aging parents. And then you see the headlines. Sarcastic. Average net worth at 40 is $500,000. Let me explain why that number is garbage so you can stop hyperventilating. That $548,000 figure is the mean. The mean is what happens when you put Jeff Bezos in a room with 10,000 broke people. Suddenly, on average, everyone in that room is a millionaire. The mean is skewed by the ultra-wealthy. It is not the real world. The number you need to pay attention to is the median, the exact middle point. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth for households aged 35 to 44 is $135,300. Better? Maybe. But let's look at the liquidity, the actual cash. When we look at retirement savings specifically, the median balance for this age group is a staggering $45,000. Think about that. $45,000. That is the nest egg for the middle of America heading into the second half of their careers. If you have $50,000 saved, you are technically ahead of the curve. But being ahead of the curve in a country that is terrible at saving money isn't exactly a victory lap. It's like being the tallest jockey. So why does it feel like you're drowning even if you make decent money? This brings us to the systemic squeeze. We're living in two Americas. On one side, we have asset owners, people who bought houses 10 years ago and have watched their net worth explode on paper. On the other side, we have income earners who are chasing inflation and losing. The data is terrifyingly clear on this. 54% of American households have no retirement savings, zero. But the people who are saving, they are aggressive. The data shows active savers are hitting a contribution rate of 14.2% of their salary. This means the gap is widening. You are either compounding wealth or you are sliding backward. The middle ground is disappearing. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just rely on Social Security, let me give you a reality check. As of November 2025, the average Social Security benefit is roughly $1,960 a month. Do the math on your current budget. Could you live on $1,960 a month? That doesn't even cover rent in most major cities, let alone food, healthcare, and utilities. Social Security was designed to be a safety net, a supplement. It was never meant to be the sole engine of your survival. Yet, for millions, that is the plan. Compounding this is the debt burden. In previous generations, the goal was to pay off the mortgage by retirement. Today, people are refinancing in their 50s. They're taking student loans for their kids in their 60s. We are seeing a trend where the golden years are turning into a debt management nightmare. So, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's look at the benchmarks. Where should you be? If we strip away the emotion and look at the math required to maintain your lifestyle, we look to the 3X rule. This is a standard benchmark used by firms like Fidelity and Empower. The rule is simple. By age 40, you should aim to have 3 times your annual salary saved. If you make $75,000 a year, the target is $225,000. If you make $100,000 a year, the target is $300,000. Now, I can hear you screaming at the screen, who has $300,000 cash at 40? Almost nobody. That is an aspirational benchmark for a comfortable retirement. It is the gold standard. If you aren't there, you aren't failed, but you are on a warning track. Let's look at the real-world median benchmarks by age to see the trajectory. 35 to 44, the median net worth is roughly $135,300. 45 to 54, it jumps to roughly $247,000. 55 to 64, it hits about $364,000. 65 to 74, the peak, $410,000. Notice something? The jump from the 40s to the 50s is massive. It almost doubles. This is proof that the 40s are the make or break decade. This is when the compounding actually starts to get heavy. But we have to define net worth correctly. It is assets minus liabilities. Assets, your house value, your 401k, your cash, your used Honda Civic. Liabilities, your mortgage, your student loans, your credit card balances. If 90% of your net worth is tied up in the roof over your head, you are financially fragile. The goal in your 40s is to start building liquidity, assets that can actually pay you. So, you've looked at the numbers, you've calculated your net worth, and you're behind. Maybe you're way behind. Maybe you're at zero. What do? You execute the catch-up strategy. This is not about skipping lattes. You cannot Starbucks your way to $1 million if you're starting at 40. We need heavy artillery. Tactic 1, the 14.2% target. We mentioned this number earlier. The average savings rate for active savers is 14.2%. If you are behind, 10% isn't going to cut it. You need to target 15 to 20% of your gross income. That sounds impossible? It might be if you try to do it all at once. Start by increasing your 401k contribution by 1% every single month. You won't notice 1% missing from your paycheck. In a year, you've increased your savings rate by 12%. Tactic 2, maximize the peak window. Research shows the age bracket of 45 to 54 is the critical window. This is usually when your salary is highest and hopefully your major childcare costs are starting to drop off. Do not let that extra money disappear into lifestyle creep. When the daycare bill stops, that money goes to the 401k. When you get the promotion, the raise goes to the IRA. You have to capture the surplus. Tactic 3, the match is mandatory. If your employer offers a 401k match and you aren't taking it, you are literally working for less money than your coworker. That is a 100% guaranteed return on investment. Warren Buffett cannot get a guaranteed 100% return. You can. If you are in debt, if you are broke, it doesn't matter. You get the match. It is the only free lunch in finance. Tactic 4, the debt triage. High-interest debt in your 40s is a cancer on your wealth. If you have a credit card with a $10,000 balance at 20% interest, paying that off is the mathematical equivalent of finding an investment that pays you 20% guaranteed tax-free. The stock market usually gives you 7% or 8%. The credit card is charging you 20%. Do not invest extra money in the stock market while you are holding 20% consumer debt. The math doesn't work. Kill the debt first. It is an emergency. Tactic 5, the lifestyle audit. This is the painful one. In your 20s, you were accumulating stuff. In your 40s, you need to optimize. Look at the big three: housing, transportation, food. Are you driving a car that costs $700 a month just to look successful to people you don't like? Are you house poor? If you are 40 and broke, you cannot afford to drive a brand new car. Period. Downgrading your car to eliminate a payment can free up $500 to $800 a month. $800 a month invested at 7% over the next 25 years is over $600,000. That is the choice: the cool truck today or $600,000 in retirement. The path forward is this: you need to stop looking at the rearview mirror. If you spent your 20s partying and your 30s buying toys, that money is gone. Guilt is a useless emotion in finance. It has a 0% return on investment. Net worth is a snapshot, not a final grade. It changes the moment you make a different decision. Open a spreadsheet or grab a napkin. Write down every asset. Write down every liability. Calculate your number. Face the reality. Then set up one automatic transfer. Even if it's $50, move it to an investment account automatically. You aren't late. You are just starting the most productive financial decades of your life. The median says you should have $135,300. The math says you need more. But the reality is you have 20 to 25 years of compounding ahead of you if you start right now. Use the peak earning years to bridge the gap. Stop trying to look rich and start actually getting rich. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you hit that like button so the algorithm knows you're trying to fix your finances, not just watch cat videos. And subscribe if you want to keep the smart friend in your corner. See you in the next one.